For millennia, galactic exploration was an endeavor of the elder races, a testament to their patience, precision, and immense resources. The Luminary Collective, beings of pure light, constructed vast, living light ships that took centuries to grow from star stuff, each one a self-sustaining ecosystem designed for voyages lasting millennia. The chitinous hegemony, a species of sentient crustaceoids, built colossal world shells, armored fortresses capable of withstanding stellar phenomena, each costing entire planetary economies. The Ethereum Cartel, energy beings, fashioned ethereal, void weavers, ships that phased in and out of reality, priceless and irreplaceable. These were not mere vessels. They were monuments to galactic ambition, each too precious to risk in truly unknown or hazardous territories. Their exploration was methodical, cautious, and incredibly slow. Vast swathes of the galaxy remained uncharted, deemed too dangerous, too unpredictable, or not economically viable to risk their irreplaceable assets. Then, a new species emerged onto the galactic stage, pushing past the established boundaries of the civilized zones. Small, squishy, biologically diverse, and emitting an odd, chaotic energy signature, they called themselves humanity. They were an anomaly, a species that valued expediency over perfection and raw numbers over individual grandeur. Their primary method of stellar cartography baffled the elder races. While the Luminary Collective slowly mapped nebulae with their majestic lightships, humanity sent forth a swarm, a relentless, seemingly endless thousand-ship fleet. These were not grand vessels. They were compact, heavily armored, and aggressively automated probes and drone ships, often no larger than a small building built with cheap, readily available materials. Their designation, Pathfinder-class reconnaissance drones, or as humanity affectionately called them, tin cans. Their mission parameters were simple: enter an uncharted region, gather data, and transmit. If a tin can was destroyed, humanity simply built 5 more. They were expendable. They were mass-produced. They were, to the elder races, an act of almost sacrilegious wastefulness. Ambassador Zelar of the chitinous hegemony, his multifaceted eyes attempting to comprehend the human approach, addressed a human envoy during a routine conclave session. Humanity, your approach to exploration is perplexing. We have observed your 1,000-ship fleet entering the shrouded Cascade, a region deemed impassable due to its unpredictable gravitational eddies and radiation storms. You have lost 317 vessels in the past cycle. How do you justify such a tremendous waste of resources? Our world shells are designed to survive. The human envoy, a stoic woman named Captain Eva Rostova, simply shrugged. We learn more from 100 destroyed probes than from one perfectly preserved world shell that never leaves port. Every lost tin can sends back a final burst of data, showing us what not to do or where the next safe passage might be. And for every 3 we lose, we build 10 more. We don't explore with one perfect ship, Zealer. We explore with the sheer, bloody-minded determination of 1,000. Zealer's mandibles clicked in confusion. But the value of such losses, it is illogical. Eva merely smiled. To us, the value is in the knowledge gained. The value is in the next 100 ships that might just make it through. Asterisk. The shrouded Cascade was a graveyard of galactic ambition. A vast nebula churned with unpredictable gravitational eddies, intense radiation bursts, and rogue stellar fragments. The elder race's magnificent vessels, built for precision and survival, were too slow to react to its sudden shifts, too vulnerable to its extreme energies, and too valuable to risk. Humanity, however, saw it as a challenge, a vast, unexplored frontier. Their 1,000-ship fleet poured into the cascade like a school of persistent metallic fish. Each Pathfinder drone was equipped with a standardized suite of sensors, a powerful, short-burst data transmitter, and a self-repair system. For minor damage, they were designed to operate autonomously, their networked intelligence allowing them to make millions of micro-adjustments based on real-time data from their predecessors. Captain Eva Rostova commanded the human staging area, a bustling, utilitarian space station on the edge of the cascade. Her bridge was a controlled cacophony of flashing alerts, real-time data streams, and the constant rhythmic alerts of tin cans winking out of existence. Drone 7 Alpha 9 lost in Sector Gamma 17, a technician announced, their voice calm and professional. Final data burst confirms extreme gravitational shear. Updating the hazard map now, ma'am. Acknowledged, Eva said, her eyes scanning the holographic map of the cascade, a growing mosaic of green, safe, yellow, hazardous, and red, confirmed drone loss. Reroute the 7 Beta and 7 Epsilon wings to avoid Gamma 17. I want them to prioritize reconnaissance of those potential stable corridors we flagged an hour ago. The elder races observed with a mixture of horror and fascination. They saw it as barbaric, a reckless disregard for resources. Yet, the sheer volume of data humanity was accumulating was unprecedented. Their detailed maps of the cascade were growing exponentially, far surpassing centuries of cautious elder race probes. The Pathfinder drones didn't just map hazards. They collected samples, detected anomalous energy signatures, and occasionally stumbled upon ancient precursor ruins hidden within the cascade's chaotic heart data points that the elder races would meticulously analyze for decades. One such discovery was Anomaly 117, a massive, silent, and apparently inert energy signature deep within the cascade. Luminary light ships, with their advanced energy detection, had spotted it centuries ago, but deemed it too dangerous to approach. Human drones, 17 of them, had been sacrificed to get close enough for a basic scan. The scan revealed a stable pocket of ancient, unknown technology, radiating immense power, but surrounded by a swirling vortex of temporal displacement. To approach it would be to risk being flung through time. So, we've found something truly impossible, Eva mused, looking at the impossible data on her main screen. A time vortex protecting a precursor artifact. How do we even begin to approach that without sacrificing half the fleet? Her lead engineer, a grizzled veteran named Reese, grinned, his face a web of wrinkles. We don't, Captain. Not with anything we care about. We send in 1,000 more tin cans to map the temporal currents, find the stable points, and then, maybe, if we're lucky, one of them will drop a beacon and let us know what's in there before it gets spaghettified. Eva felt a surge of pride in her people. Their pragmatic, almost cheerful acceptance of loss in the pursuit of knowledge was their greatest asset. It was a spirit that had carried them from the plains of Africa to the stars. The temporal labyrinth surrounding Anomaly. 117 was a new kind of hell. It wasn't just a physical danger, it was an existential one. Drones entered one moment and emerged millions of years later, or disappeared entirely from the time stream. The Ethereum cartel's void weavers, with their temporal phasing capabilities, could theoretically navigate it. But the risk to their priceless ships and irreplaceable crews was deemed too high. Humanity, however, had a different approach. Brute force. Data accumulation. Eva, her mind honed by years of managing complex, multivariable drone swarms, began to orchestrate the assault. She didn't just command, she conducted. She guided hundreds of Pathfinder drones into the labyrinth. Their mission, not to survive, but to die in a meaningful way, sending back data on the temporal shifts before they were annihilated. Drone 9, Zulu 7, experienced a 1.2-million-year forward temporal displacement, then collapsed due to rapid entropic decay. A young, wide-eyed technician shouted, a note of awe in his voice. Noted, Eva replied calmly, her fingers dancing across a holographic control surface. Cross-reference its entry vector with 8 Alpha 2, which survived for a full 17 minutes before its chronometer failed. Look for microfluctuations in the temporal field at their point of divergence. The elder races, observing from afar, were aghast. This is madness. Your vessels are being thrown through time like discarded toys, boomed a luminary collective speaker, its voice a cascade of concerned chimes. To us, it's just really expensive telemetry, Eva retorted, not looking away from the holographic map. Every lost tin can paints a clearer picture of the labyrinth. We're finding the currents. We're finding the safe zones. We're finding the holes. After weeks of relentless data harvesting and hundreds of lost drones, a pattern began to emerge. There were infinitesimally small, stable, temporal anchors within the labyrinth points where the flow of time was normal. They were fleeting, lasting only fractions of a second, but they existed. The challenge now was not just to find them, but to exploit them. Eva's team developed a new protocol, micro-jump sequencing. A drone would have to make hundreds of precise, instantaneous micro-jumps, appearing and disappearing between temporal anchors, to traverse the labyrinth without succumbing to temporal displacement. It was an incredibly complex maneuver, requiring a near-perfect sequence of inputs and a predictive algorithm of unprecedented complexity. Reese, the engineer, presented the plan to Eva. It's a death sentence for most of the drones. The processing, power required, the precision, the margin for error is non-existent. We'll lose thousands just calibrating the initial jump sequence. Eva looked at the numbers, at the projected loss rates, at the almost impossible odds of success. And how many will make it through? Reese hesitated, running a hand through his thinning gray hair. The simulations are optimistic. Maybe 1 in 1,000? If we're lucky, and if our new predictive models hold up. Eva nodded, her expression resolute. Then we build 1,000. And we send them. Her experience, her years of managing chaotic swarms, had given her an almost intuitive grasp of complex systems. She could see the patterns in the chaos, the faint outlines of a path through the impossible. It was a skill born not of technology, but of sheer, hard-won human experience. The micro-jump sequencing began. Thousands of Pathfinder drones now, equipped with advanced temporal sensors and hardened quantum processors, launched into the temporal labyrinth. The holographic map of the cascade became a dizzying light show of drones winking in and out of existence, some exploding into temporal singularities, others simply vanishing from the time stream. Eva, her mind a whirlwind of calculations, guided the waves of drones. She wasn't just sending them to their deaths. She was orchestrating a complex, multi-layered data-gathering operation. Each drone's failure provided crucial information, refining the predictive models for the next wave. The mental strain was immense, a constant high-stakes game of chess, against the very fabric of time. But she pushed through, driven by the knowledge that every failure brought them closer to success. And then, one drone made it. Pathfinder 1037, a battered, scarred tin can, its hull pitted and scorched from its perilous journey, successfully traversed the labyrinth and dropped a beacon on Anomaly 117. Its final transmission, a single crystal-clear image, was broadcast across the galaxy. A vast, complex precursor data core glowing with an ancient, impossible light. The elder races were stunned. A human drone, an expendable tin can, had achieved what their priceless World shells and void weavers dared not attempt. The data core, however, was inactive. It required a specific energy signature, a unique frequency to awaken it, a key to unlock its secrets. The Luminary Collective, with their mastery of energy, could not replicate the complex multi-layered frequency. The Ethereum Cartel, with their temporal phasing, could not decipher its unique temporal harmonics. Reese, the engineer, stared at the data streams from the beacon. It's like a lock, but we don't even know what kind of key it needs. The energy signature is a blend of 1,000 different frequencies, all shifting in a complex, non-repeating pattern. It's alien, fundamentally different from anything we've ever encountered. Ava, exhausted but exhilarated, looked at the images of the precursor data core. So we've found the ultimate safe. How do we pick it without a key? We don't, Reese said, a glint of manic inspiration in his eye. We don't just pick it, we brute force it. We try every single frequency, every single temporal harmonic, every single energy signature we can think of all at the same time. We turn our drones into a massive galactic-scale frequency array. Eva understood. 1,000 different keys, all trying to open the lock at once. It was a strategy born of human impatience, of a refusal to accept an unsolvable puzzle. It was, in its own way, beautiful in its sheer brute force simplicity. The operation began. Thousands of Pathfinder drones, now equipped for multispectral energy emission, launched from the staging area. They spread out across the shrouded cascade, forming a colossal, scattered array. Their combined output focused on anomaly-117. Eva, her mind now a finely tuned instrument of command and control, orchestrated the symphony of chaos. Each drone began to emit a unique, randomly generated energy signature, cycling through billions of possible frequencies, temporal harmonics, and phase alignments. It was a digital cacophony, 1,000,000 different keys being tried in a single ancient lock, a testament to humanity's belief that if you throw enough solutions at a problem, one of them is bound to stick. The elder races watched in horrified fascination. The Luminary Collective's sensors screamed at the raw, unfiltered energy being broadcast across the spectrum. The chitinous hegemony's world shells braced for a catastrophic energy feedback. The Ethereum Cartel's void weavers shielded themselves from the unpredictable temporal fluctuations. And then, a single drone, Pathfinder 1729, broadcasting a unique, seemingly random sequence of energy pulses and temporal harmonics, hit the right note. Precursor data core. Activation sequence detected. Core active. A wave of pure informational energy erupted from anomaly 117. It was not destructive, but transformative. It washed over the shrouded cascade, instantly stabilizing its gravitational eddies, calming its radiation storms, and neutralizing the temporal labyrinth. The cascade, once a graveyard of galactic ambition, became a safe, navigable highway. The precursor data core had activated. It wasn't just a data storage device, it was a universal cartographer, a precursor device that had mapped the entire galaxy, with a level of detail and accuracy that was previously unimaginable. It instantly updated all known galactic maps for every species, revealing countless new stars, nebulae, and habitable worlds, making vast swaths of previously unknown space safe for travel. The elder races were speechless. Humanity, with its wasteful, illogical, and brutish approach, had unlocked the universe. The activation of the Universal Cartographer was the single most significant event in galactic history. Suddenly, vast, previously impassable regions of space were open. New resources, new civilizations, and new mysteries were revealed. The galaxy, once slowly expanding, had just exploded with a new, vibrant potential. Humanity, once scoffed at for their tin cans, were now revered as the Wayfinders. Eva Rostova, the pragmatic captain, became a living legend, a symbol of humanity's unique brand of exploratory genius. Her species' capacity for aggressive exploration, for accepting calculated losses, and for brute forcing the impossible had fundamentally changed the galaxy. The Luminary Collective began to design expendable light scouts, small, fast probes that could map new territories without risking their grand vessels. The Kittinist hegemony began to manufacture drone swarm explorers, adopting a similar philosophy of numbers and data. The Ethereum cartel, now less risk-averse, began to send their void weavers into previously unthinkable temporal anomalies. Their fear of the unknown, tempered by humanity's audacity, the galactic conclave, once rigid and cautious, was now vibrant with a new sense of purpose. Humanity wasn't just a member. They were the frontier pathfinders, often leading the charge into newly revealed sectors, their 1,000-ship fleets mapping, classifying, and securing new worlds at an unprecedented pace. Their methods were still chaotic, their ships still ugly, but their results were undeniable. The ultimate lesson was clear. Perfection had its place, but true progress often required embracing imperfection, accepting risk, and having the sheer audacious will to try, even if it meant sacrificing 1,000 ships to find the path forward for millions. Years passed. Eva Rostova, the captain, was now a venerable elder, her eyes still gleaming with the quiet fire of a born explorer. She was known as the first wayfinder, the one who had unlocked the universe. Her command center, once a chaotic hub of desperate improvisation, was now a beacon of galactic exploration, guiding millions of probes and vessels into the newly revealed cosmos. The galaxy was a different place. The sense of a finite known universe had vanished, replaced by an infinite frontier. New civilizations flourished, trade routes expanded, and knowledge flowed freely, all thanks to the precursor device unlocked by human ingenuity and a whole lot of expendable drones. The ultimate lesson of humanity's journey was not about dominating the galaxy, but about expanding its horizons. It was about our unique capacity for curiosity, for relentless pursuit of the unknown, and for seeing the potential in 1,000 small sacrifices to achieve one monumental discovery. We were the species that could take 1,000 tin cans and, through sheer, stubborn effort, use them to chart the very stars. Eva Kama, in her final address to a newly formed Galactic Exploration Council, spoke not of ships, but of spirit. The universe is an infinite story, and we have only just turned the first page, she stated, her voice resonating with the quiet authority of one who had literally expanded reality's map. Let us not fear the unknown. Let us not fear loss. For in every lost probe, in every daring venture, lies the spirit of exploration, the insatiable human drive to see what's over the next horizon. The tin can fleets, once an epithet, was now a badge of honor for humanity. They were the unsung heroes who ensured that the galaxy, despite its vastness, remained a place of endless discovery, where courage was found not just in grand vessels, but in 1,000 small, expendable probes, each carrying a piece of humanity's boundless curiosity. For in the heart of humanity's pragmatic chaos lay the true engine of galactic exploration.